Alright, time for a I've been drinking Fusion 360 tutorial. Had a guy asking for a basically bolt center diameter BCD test fit deal for a 6x lug nut. Let's close all this. We've got Fusion 360 open, new document. Step 1, Fusion 360 is pretty much always going to be create sketch. I'm going to create the sketch. We're going to create it on the YX plane or XY plane here. This one thing you will have to change is in your defaults. You want the Z plane as going up, and it's in here in preferences. It's one of those deals where you change it once and then you forget about it, and you know what, I really don't remember where it is, and I'm not going to look for it. You can Google that. They're going to go to cancel on that. But we've got our sketch started. So basically, first thing we want to do is we know we're going for bolt center diameter. We're going to do some construction stuff. Basically going to create circles that are just for reference purposes. Center diameter circle. I'm going to start here at the origin. And I think what the guy needed was, or what he was going after was a 5-inch. You can see it's, I've got my dimensions set up to be millimeters, but Fusion Smart, if you type in a little quote signs, it gives you 5 inches. We can hit enter. 127 millimeters, so that's 5 inches. And let's see, what else do we have? We had a bolt center of 5.5 inches, 5.5 inches. There's no decimal after that. Yep, this is the I've been drinking Fusion series. And another one of 6.5 inches. Start at the origin again. 6.5 inches. Alright, so basically that gives us 3 rings to be able to set the right distance on. It's not the easiest way to do it, but it works. And I'm lazy, and this is what I know. Alright, from here on out, everything we want is real. So we're going to turn off this construction plane. The construction gives us these dotted lines, so that's just basically for reference. It gives us something to snap to. Now we want a center diameter circle. Again, because I googled this earlier, it looked like most of the 6x's were, well, some of them were standard, some of them were metric, some of them were 12 millimeters, some of them were 14 millimeters. We're going to go with 14 millimeters because they're really not that close. And if you can't figure it out while you've got this sitting on a hub, then you probably don't need to be messing with 3D printing. But, I'm kind of a dick like that. So, basically, Fusion wants to snap to, it likes to snap to stuff. We've got this construction circle here. So we can just kind of hover over it here. Click there. So again, Googled 14 millimeter center or lug diameter, whatever the hell I was talking about. So we're going to do 14, and I'm going to do 0.2 because I know 3D printers, sometimes you get a little extra squish, sometimes it's tolerance. It gives you 0.1 millimeters on either side, so it works out. It's what I'm going to do. You can do whatever you want to, but if it doesn't fit, don't blame me. Alright, so we got one circle there. We're going to do another one. Center diameter circle on this next one out. We're going to do this one, so 14.2, and we're going to do another one. No, we didn't want to click that. Just want to circle here. 14.2. Because I started these on the lines on this here, the center is going to be locked to here. Don't want right angle, but we can click, we can move this around wherever we want it to, and it will stay on this line. That is kind of locked in. You can delete it, but for this exercise, this stuff, we're not going to, because well, I've been drinking. All right, this guy here, same thing. All right, so basically, that gives us our 3 holes at our 3 diameters. We can go ahead, we can make those a pattern. Go ahead and let's create menu. We want circular pattern. Objects. We got one selected. That was the one I was clicking around on earlier. We want that one. No, we want that one. So we want all 3 holes, all 3 of these holes to make bolt center diameter words hard center point. We want our origin. That's what we're basing everything around. Is this nice origin here? It's included at no extra charge. Alright, so you see it just picked 3. That's kind of the Fusion default. We can go click up to 6, or we can just type in 6 here. That gives us this nice pattern of 3. 6. We've got 6 of them. 3 holes at 6. Pattern of 6. Why does it not look like 6? Oh, I could hit enter. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Yep. Okay, we got 6. Numbers is hard. Alright. But if we're actually using this piece, and maybe we've got multiple of them, it'd be nice to have these things labeled. So we're going to create text next to them. How about here? Just draw a box in here. It really doesn't matter. Just try not to lock it. Actually, you know what? I'm already locked on something. You know what? Create text. We're going to just draw it up here. This one, first one, what was it? 5 inches. I'm just going to type in 5. I'm going to make it 8 millimeters tall because that's what I tested out with earlier. And hit OK. OK. Clicking's hard too. Now we can click size, we can click on this text, we can draw it right in here. So we'll do that 5. Put that 5 there. You know what? I'm going to move that out a little bit because of things I have planned in the future. Alright. That's 5. Basically going to do that again for text. We're going to do it here. 5.5. Same height. And we're going to drag it in here. That should work. And once again, text. We're just going to do a text box out here. Really doesn't matter. Other than you don't want to lock it to something because otherwise it tries to rotate and do funny stuff. And then you're on the YouTubes trying to explain why it's doing rotational stuff instead of just moving like you want it to. Alright, 6.5. That was the last one. Okay. So we're going to click that text. We're going to drag that in here. And hopefully we'll be able to figure that out. You know what? I'm going to move this one out just a hair because I have plans. Alright. I would have done these earlier, but I know you can't do a circular pattern on text because I've done this 3 times now, and well, I've been drinking. All right, what do we need now? Oh, we need like basically an inner outer side, so we have something to like actually model. Base start at the origin. We're gonna go here. We're just gonna give it, what is that, 112. We'll give it, we'll give it 100 millimeters. That's good. Basically, we want to give some space here, so we've got something to 3D print in, and give it some space. All right, we're gonna do another circle. It's if you don't, I'm not sure exactly how that works. If you don't type in numbers and don't hit enter, then you just do the clicking thing. It stays highlighted sometimes. Sometimes it doesn't. Whatever. All right, another circle. What was it? 179.3. So if we give that, well, that looks good. Whatever that number is. So we've got some space here. We've got some space here. Space everywhere. All right, that's pretty much done with that. We're finished with the sketch because we've got this stuff to extrude. All right, finish sketch. All right, and how I usually do this is we go to the home. That gives us kind of the ISO view, and basically Fusion 360 is kind of sketch, extrude. Extrude's the step we're going to do now. We're going to select this, and that gives us, it's basically going to select like the contiguous. It's kind of if you do the paint, if you do the like the paint bucket thing in Windows Paint, it just kind of selects everything that's not combined. It just fills everything that it can. So it doesn't get these guys. We can select those separately. This is just me clicking on them to add them, but we don't want those. We just want this main body of it, and we want to drag that down 5 millimeters. That's good. You can drag it down 10. You can drag it down however far you want to. I don't care, but 5 millimeters gives us enough base to print with. All right, so, and I'm dragging it down because I'm going to extrude the text up, because that makes it easier. That way it's in the right orientation when we just save as an STL. But we're getting to that. Alright, so we drag it down 5 millimeters. And, yep, 5 millimeters. Just going to hit OK. We don't need to change anything else on there. Alright, so we extruded that. Hold on, let me drink. Alright, that's that. So, sketches. It automatically hides the sketch that we're working on because we did the extrusion. And what else do you want to do with it? Okay, we do still want to do stuff with it. We want to turn it back on. We've got the little eye icon there deal. And because we're going to want to extrude those numbers so that we can kind of emboss them on the top of the print. So we're going to click on extrude again. Profiles. We want to select this guy, and this guy. And while we're extruding, it sees them as one object. We want to start. This stuff we can kind of leave default, but we want to extrude it 1 millimeter. With the zoom I'm at, it'll try to do it 5 millimeters. Like if I click, it's gonna snap to 5 millimeters, and there's some like shift control key deal that I can do, or I can just type in 1 and type in 1, done. Alright, now we're done with the sketch. We can turn the sketch off. Now we just see the bodies. Actually, you know what? Crap. Alright, this is actually a good learning experience because I didn't want to. Let's go to edit this feature. Down here at the bottom, you've got the kind of your timeline, what you've done. I want to go to edit that feature. It joined it, so it basically made it. Here, let me cancel out of this. Bodies. We've got one body here. This is all one thing. If I turn that off, then there's nothing left. There's no body left. So basically, I didn't want to do that. I want to edit this feature. I don't want operation. I don't want join. I want new body. Basically, that means each one of these extrusions will create a new body. And we'll go, okay. That's how to fix your mistakes. Fusion's very friendly with that. So we can turn this off and see we have these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We've got these 7 bodies. Math is hard. Alright, we got these 7 bodies because everything gets its own body. We can turn that one back on just for reference sakes to see what we're looking at. But we want these numbers just to make it for ease of use. We're going to put these on every one of these circles. So we can also do our circular pattern in the solid toolbar. So where is it? Come on, it's late. No, I've been drinking. Create. I know it's in here. Pattern. There it is. Pattern. Circular pattern. Objects. We can just go. We can go here and select them. Or we were in here earlier. We can select them here. And you'll see that gets us all our numbers. We don't want the body, the main body. We would just want those guys. Objects. So we've got 7 objects selected. You can see them here in blue. Axis. We want the Z-axis, Z, depending on where you are. Angular spacing. Full. Quantity. Well, we got 6 holes, or 6 sets of holes. 3 times 6, whatever. 6 holes. Alright. That basically makes it go around and copy these guys 6 times. Alright. So that gives us all our markings. And what we can do from there is we can combine all these guys. We've got this combine function here. It'll let you join, cuts, intersect. But right now we're going to do join, target body. We want everything added to this guy. Tool bodies. Easiest way, you can go through and select each one of these individually. But that's way too much work. We're just going to go select body 2. Select body 43 because that made a lot of bodies. Then I'm going to double check to make sure it didn't unselect any of those that I clicked on earlier. Operation join. And that's it. Alright. Now we're down to 1 body. And we can kind of be done here. But I don't want to be because I like chamfers. Because chamfers make things look professional. Or something like that. Of course, I've been drinking, so who cares? Anyway, I want to throw chamfers on all these holes. This hole, this hole, this hole, this hole. All of them. I just want to make it a little bit smoother body. It also means we don't have to deal with the elephant's foot stuff because the first layer is not perfect. Alright. Basically, I'm going to do, well, I'll show you what I tried to do the first time, and this is probably the second time too, but I don't remember anymore. But this is modify tool with this chamfer, and you can go through, you can select the corners that you want to chamfer, and go through here, select this, and go through and select them all, but that's a lot of work. And I don't like doing it that way because, shit, I'm lazy. I like selecting the top surface. I like selecting the bottom surface. Oh, the other way to navigate in here is if you hold the shift key and the middle mouse button, you can kind of do this number. But this one's, I'm kind of 6 one, half dozen the other. Sometimes I do it one way, sometimes I do it the other. But for rotating, moving the model around, because this is just click on and drag, or you can click home and you get this nice standard orientation that's easy to work with. Did I select the bottom? I don't remember. Oh, no, I didn't select the bottom. Select the bottom. We'll do 1 millimeter chamfer. And it's going to pitch a fit. Yep, error. The fillet chamfer, what the problem is there is the text. Because it's trying to chamfer everything against this surface, and it's trying to chamfer everything against the bottom surface. Bottom surface is fine. It's the measurements on this surface that are giving us the issue. So Fusion, we're just gonna hit cancel on this. Basically, we're gonna take a step back before we joined everything up together. Now on this bottom, we've kind of got our timeline here. We can take a step back. They're all separate again, and I can do my chamfer. Now, I don't remember, I mentioned it on one thing, and I don't remember if I'd mentioned it on this one, but chamfer versus fillet. Fillet is the nice rounded edges. They work great if they're in the vertical orientation, but if they're in a horizontal orientation, that leaves you with like ridiculous overhangs, and then it droops and it drags, and it looks like crap if you 3D print that where it's like along the layer lines. So, anyway, chamfer. Type equal distance, blah, blah, blah. We're going to select that surface. We're going to select the bottom surface. Alright, we got two faces selected. We're going to type in, we want that 1 millimeter. Just to give us a little bit of a clean line. And notice it basically gets all the corners of this surface and all the corners of this surface. Even these circles, they get that 1 millimeter chamfer. So it should make it a little bit smoother. Should get completely eliminate any elephant's foot. But we still want to combine everything, so we've got it in one print. We don't have to try to deal with any kind of slicer goofiness. All right, so we joined these all earlier. We can just kind of slide this timeline back over and it'll try to rejoin everything. And it did rejoin everything. So we've got one body here. Fusion 360 to a slicer. Pretty easy. Save as STL. And I usually have this send a 3D print utility checked. And I'm sending it to Prusa Slicer. You have to do custom, but there are like other slicers, none of the ones that anybody uses, but so you have to do, what the hell did I click on? Oh, output. Okay. So you have to do custom, and then it'll give you the options to choose what application you want. And Prusa Slicer for me, Cura, Super Slicer, whatever you want to use. But for the sake of discussion, we can not send it to 3D print utility. Hit OK. And, well, you can see that I've done this a few times. We're just going to call this, you know what, BCD. Bolt center diameter. And be done with it. BCD.stl. And we've got an STL file. And we want to save this. Hit save. BCD, save, and we're done. Well, I'm done at least.